What's up, everyone?
Everyone, they upgraded our software. Bear with me, I'm getting Nicole up. Bear with me, Nicole. I'll get you on here. Don't you love tech issues, Nicole?
Well, I guess I figured out the system earlier, so that made it easier for me. Blake got like a 2-second window right before we went live, everyone, so bear with us.
I'm hoping they can hear you, Nicole. 1 second. We'll get there.
Guys, if you can hear me, let Blake know.
I wish they hadn't have upgraded the... Let's see here.
So if anyone else can hear me, let Blake know by commenting. Otherwise, he's going to keep working on it. Hey! He brought me up, but now he took himself out, so I'm not really sure. If you guys could hear me before. Oh, see, they can hear me. But now that you took yourself out, I don't think they can hear or see the slideshow either. I can hear you through the wall.
Okay.
There we go.
There we go.
What?
That was crazy. And
they did like a total facelift of the service we use to stream, guys. So the whole setting it up was totally different, and I set that up while Blake was in a meeting. So I realized quickly that it was going to change. So I tried to like update him on what I knew was going to be different, but it didn't tell me like, hey, we've changed things. It just like it was changed because it's been 2 weeks.
I was busy working on some projects and I ran in. So Nicole's like text messaging me. She's like, hey, are we doing the show today? And I'm like, yeah, just go ahead and set it all up. So I walk in, she goes, you're going to love this. So I looked at it like I learned 5 minutes ago. Obviously, I'm still learning because I don't know what I'm doing. So,
34 people watching. So shout out to those 34 people.
Yeah. And if you're not new to the show, it's a new year. We've been doing this for over a year. That was crazy. Wow. We've been doing the live show for over a year now. And so it's 2020. And basically, if you're new to the show, what we do is we give weekly updates about what's happening in the city of Weatherford. So 1 week we'll talk about department updates, such as street repairs, water line repairs, electric repairs, you name it. And then on weeks like this week, we'll talk about economic development, what's coming to Weatherford, what's changing in Weatherford in regard to economic development, retail, dining, whatever it is, you name it. All right. Hey, Tim.
Thanks, Tim. I appreciate it.
I didn't even know that, Nicole.
So the new issue came out on my parents got it on Saturday. Okay. But since I was one of the Parker County Bachelorettes, because actually Kristen down the hall was also selected as one of the 100 most interesting people to meet in Parker County. So, yeah.
I'll get that autograph for you, Tim. We'll get some autograph copies of something. Of the magazine. There you go.
Magazine.
All right. So welcome to the show if you're new. Welcome back. New Year's resolutions, Nicole. You got any?
Well, I mean, I know your opinion on New Year's resolutions. I just always feel like the new year is a great time, and I think a lot of people use it as a time to like recenter. I have goals that I've already been working on for a few months, so I guess my New Year's resolution is just to maintain those goals and to continue to do what I did all of 2019.
And I agree, recenter is probably the right word because that's what I'm doing. So I go to the gym, like I've been going for over a year to the gym, but like the quality that I put into my workouts has gone downhill. So I'm regrouping. I'm doing the a diet, keto diet, if you have not heard of that. It's pretty brutal at first, so I'm working through the pains of that. And I'm going to try to keep at it, and I'm working really hard. So if you go to the gym and you see me and I'm sweating,
that's me every morning between 5 and 5:15 at the gym.
Yeah.
Except for this morning, because I did kickboxing last night. So this morning I woke up and I was like not feeling going to the gym at 5 a.m.
The price we pay, right? That's how you become most interesting person right there.
Right?
Right.
So we've got Jonathan and Richard, and we've got Kaylin and Justin and Karen. We've got a lot of people tuning in. So let's go ahead and dive into it.
All right, let's get started. And I am going to try to break. Here we go.
So I guess I have to stay on the screen for now.
Wait, I got it. There we go, Nicole. We're good.
We good?
Yeah, we're good. Okay. All right. Resources. As each week we present this slide, so you all know that when we're not live, where you can go to get information. The best resources, the number one resource is weatherfordtx.gov. That's kind of the mothership of our websites, full of information about meetings and agendas of upcoming meetings. We stream all of our meetings live on the website along with our cable channel, and now we stream on social media, specifically Facebook. And then we have our tourism website, experienceweatherford.com. That's where you can actually add an event. If you're hosting an event in Weatherford, it has to be in the city limits. You can also add your business listing as well. So if you have a business, you can add that to the list. Then, of course, we have our economic development website, chooseweatherford.com. And then downtown has a website, Heritage Square Weatherford, regarding that bypass project that will be taking place. Of course, we're located on all of the social media platforms: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and Nextdoor. Go for it, Nicole.
Sweet. I'm muted. Just a huge echo. Blake, your headphones plugged in?
Yeah, I got them plugged in.
We might have to just do it for your office. There's a huge echo. I hear.
Okay. Here, let me do this for you, Nicole. Yeah, we're getting no audio from you, Nicole. That's weird.
I think you have to mute yourself. There's too much of an echo.
Okay.
Well, guys, thanks for bearing with us. I might just let Blake do the whole show.
You want to come over here, Nicole? Okay. All right, Nicole is on her way over. Let's see what we can do. There we go. Nicole's gonna come over. Here she comes. They're confirming that there's an echo on your end, but not on my end. So I'm not really sure.
Guys, this is what happens when we don't have our show set up extra early, and there's tech issues. We'll get with
It's
IT.
okay. It's okay. This is what it's all about. Like, this is like a day of the office for us. So like, it's real. It's pure.
I guess you could take the headphones out.
Yeah, I guess I could. Yeah, well, there might be an echo. Yeah, or I could take them off. There we go. Okay, so we're gonna do this from my office.
We got this.
It's fun. We're having a good time. I love it. Like, new software does not scare us. Let's do this. Okay, where were we? Let's go back to the presentation here, and I'll let Nicole take over. Go for it.
Sweet. So we've got our My Weatherford app, guys. It is a free mobile app. You can find it on the App Store and on Google Play. And right now we have a picture of the interactive web map, which is really cool. You can see the different city buildings. You can narrow down by trash pickup, by bulk pickup, so you can see your schedule based off of your area and town. There's a lot of other really cool filters that our GIS team, so shout out to Chris Maxey and to Austin Nichols and all of our engineers who have helped with that program to get that up for you guys. It's a great service. Check it out. And then I wanted to talk about our annual report. So Blake and I spent a lot of time building this out. So if you're wanting to see the different projects we had go on around the city over our last fiscal year, so that was last year, check it out.
Yep, and this project is one of our we're most proud of type projects because it really allows us from our department to kind of show our creativity while showing like hard data from our departments. And so it's fun for us, it's fun for the departments, and it's a good tool for everyone to see what we've done in the last fiscal year and then see what we're planning to do in the future fiscal year. So it's a really great document. You can access that at weatherfordtx.gov as well. It's a flip book in a digital format. And if you desire a hard copy, feel free to come by City Hall and I can get you one as well.
Sweet. So we've got some board vacancies, guys. If you're ever wanting to see if there's any openings on any of our boards or commissions, you can always go to weatherfordtx.gov/boards. However, I do know that we have an opening right now on our Building and Standards Commission, so check it out. There's all of the different requirements, like you do have to live within our city limits. So going back to our interactive web maps, you could see if your actual address is in city limits or if you're just outside of. And then the time requirement, like, so for the boards and commissions or standards commission, you have to be on the board for 3 years. So it's a 3-year commitment, but you guys check it out.
And the great thing about these boards and commissions is it leads to other opportunities. And what I mean by that is a lot of our city council members once served on a board or a commission before they decided to run for city council. And so it's a really great opportunity to learn about the operations side of and the finance side of the city of Weatherford and to kind of get your feet wet into local government, and then kind of build you up and prepare you for running for an elected position such as city council. So it's a great opportunity. It doesn't require a ton of your time, but it's a great way to get involved in the community and really make a huge difference.
So then we've got our experience Weatherford. So Blake talked about the website and the Facebook earlier, but we also have a mobile app to take it with you. And that's also a free app on the App Store and on Google Play. So check it out. This just kind of shows that you can do the historic walking downtown tour directly from your phone, and you can add stops, you can take stops away, you can see details on the stops. It's really cool. And we're working to bring some new features to that app as well.
And there are some great changes coming to the Experience Weatherford.
We have some big changes that we're excited to, when we officially launch, of course, we'll talk about it on here and show you guys some of the things that are updating and changing.
Yep.
Rumor control.
I could have jumped in on that with you, I guess,
You could have,
right?
yeah.
All right, what's the rumor control? What's the first one for today, Nicole?
No in and out at this time. We'd love to see them come. That is a huge rumor that always circles back. We have a few of them that are really big, so I thought I'd hit on a couple of them today, but no in and out at this time. We'd love to see new businesses come into town, but we can't really force them to come. So if there's a business that you want to see come, whether it's a mom and pop or corporate, reach out to either corporate or the owners and have them, like, let them know that there's a want and a need here, so that way they can reach out to Development and Neighborhood Services or to our Economic Development Department, and we can bring them here and show them why they should be here. And trust me, all of those businesses need to be here.
Looks like we have a new viewer, Jackie.
We do.
She says, love this. Thank you. Thank you, Jackie. That
Jackie.
makes us feel good.
Check it out.
It's great to get the feedback, and I'm glad you're joining us. So tune in each week, every Tuesday at 11 o'clock. So we hope you're going to be a regular now, Jackie.
Hold you to it.
I'm holding her to it. All right, so let's talk about economic development. This week, of course, is Economic Development Week. Next week, we'll talk about departmental updates and projects. So I just we like to give kind of a rundown of what's taking place in Weatherford and give you a better idea of how economic development works. As most of you know, Weatherford is growing. Growth is kind of a natural occurrence. Oftentimes we hear folks say, why are we trying to be Dallas? Why are we trying to be Fort Worth? Fact of the matter is as people move this direction, businesses come with that because they follow where the money's at. That's just a to-the-point explanation of economic development. But our job at the city is kind of make sure that those new businesses, if they're building a location, are in compliance with all of our permitting processes and our standards here. So that way we know that the structures that they're building are of sound structure quality, for lack of better words. So we assist in that process. We don't control what business comes or goes, but we are here to make sure that we assist in that planned development of Weatherford to make sure that we're headed in the right direction. And what that runs into is you'll hear about zoning. So we have a planning and zoning board, and basically, if you look at a map, we have a map of the city, and it shows you the different zones. So you might have a commercial zone, you might have a residential zone, and so we allocate where a business can be built. We allocate where residences can be built. That way, what we call planned growth. So one of the things that we do is we work with different outside entities that specialize in economic development. And so we've done our research, and we know that we have a primary trade area and a secondary trade area. And what those mean is that those are areas where people come from outside the city limits to partake in commerce within the city limits of Weatherford. So the first one is our primary trade area, and there's around 190,000 people in that area that shop in Weatherford. And they shop 3 to 5 times per week. And then our secondary trade area has 360,000 people. And basically they shop 1 to 2 times a week or a couple of times per month. So a lot of us are visual people. I'm a visual person, so I have a map here for you. This is our primary trade area. This includes the 190,000 people that come and shop in Weatherford. And I know a lot of you are going, well, how do you know that, Blake? Well, the reason we know this data is because the companies that we work with have the ability to basically on your cell phone or any electronic device, which we all carry almost, has GPS. Whether it's turned off or on, it's still being tracked. So we work with those companies, and companies work with all sorts of cities across North Texas and across the U.S. And basically, they share that data with us, and they say, hey, these are the people that we know for a fact are coming and participating in commerce in Weatherford. And that's important for all of us to know, because someone who may live in, say, Mineral Wells, who may be shopping in Weatherford, they're buying something and then paying sales tax, which goes back into the city. So we're not just funded through property taxes. We're a lot of people outside shopping here help build our budget so we can move the city forward in the right direction. So kind of cool. Now we also have our secondary trade area. And the secondary trade area includes, if I go back here, that 360,000 people, and they shop 1 to 2 times a week or a couple of times per month. And it's a little bit larger of an area, and you can just see how big it is. So we know that individuals have come and participated in commerce here in the city limits of Weatherford. So that's what we know, and businesses are moving to Weatherford because they have this data collection as well. And Dan, I'm looking at your comments. Give me one moment and we'll answer those questions for you. So businesses have this data as well, and so they can see that, Weatherford is a growing area. They can see the rise in population. They can see the forecast in population rise, which means they come to Weatherford. One thing that I want to point out at this time is that the census, the 2020 census, is about to come up. And that's important because that gives us a projection of where we are, not only population-wise, but it allows us to forecast what our economic development will look like as well, as long as a whole host of other types of things like meal programs for our school system. The list goes on. So I don't have the list in front of me right now, but it's really good to participate in that census when the time comes. So that's applicable to everyone watching the show right now. So make sure you participate because it does impact your local operations. Now, Dan, you asked, what is the top shop business, food, and so on? Dan, I don't really know the answer to that. So it just depends. Now we collect, obviously, as you know, we collect sales tax, but that typically comes in as a lump sum. It's not individualized per business. So we really don't have that data set to tell us what's the most shop business. So the comptroller's office sends us that sales tax, which is typically about a month after the quarter ends, is my understanding, through talking to finance. So it comes in as a lump sum. It's not, what's the right word I'm looking for, Nicole? It's not broken down. It's not itemized. Yeah. What counties does this cover? Jackie asked. Let's go, if you look at the secondary. So if you look at the primary, that's going to go over into Tarrant County. It goes all the way to Palo Pinto County. Now the secondary goes all the way up to Graham, which I believe is, my brain is wandering now on what that county is. It goes down to Granbury as well. So Erath County is another one because Stephenville's in that secondary trade area. So I would say a 4 to 5 county range around us, Jackie.
If not a few more, because there's certain points that might break into some other counties too. So,
but at least that kind of gives you an idea of how big that territory is. Oh, rumor control.
I let Blake do it.
I'm not as good at the rumor control announcement as you are, though. I get timid.
I'm like, he's all nervous about it.
Yeah, I'm not good at that. So no Bass Pro Shops. I know some of you may be like, oh, you're welcome, Jackie. So I know a lot of you may be like, Bass Pro Shops. But no, this is an actual rumor. A lot of people think that we're getting a Bass Pro Shops or a Cabela's for that matter. But we have not, Bass Pro has not contacted the city for any types of permits or anything. And a lot of times, in regard to economic development, we may not even know about a business looking at Weatherford because they may be in the process of acquiring property, and then they come to us and say, hey, we have land, we're going to build a location. So that's kind of how we know. So a lot of these things, we haven't heard anything from Bass Pro Shops or the others in regard to permitting.
So the simplest way to put it, when you talk to economic development, they hear from businesses that are wanting incentives or needing help getting in touch with realtors or something along those lines. So like Blake said, sometimes there are businesses that buy land in town and then they never do anything with it and they end up selling it off or holding on to it. So that makes that a little bit harder for us. And then we also don't hear if they're going into an existing space, the city doesn't hear from them until they start to apply for those permits or change of occupancy, which we'll talk about the two that just got their change of occupancy in a minute. But we don't hear from them until they're applying for different permits that change of occupancy or they are needing incentives to come to town. But we do update you guys on what we know as a city.
Yep. And I think the cool thing that I always have to tell myself is that we live, as you all know, we live in America. It's a free market. So you are welcome to open business if you want. You do the proper procedures with your local government in regard to permitting. And that mainly, a lot of the permitting and things is in regard to public safety, fire codes, things of that nature. So your local government really doesn't say, hey, you can't come here kind of thing. Now, there are some ordinances on certain areas and zones, but keep in mind it's a free market. And we often get asked, like, why don't we have this? Why don't y'all get that? If I had that power, that would be awesome. I would call Bass Pros and I'd be like, get over here.
We'd have a long list of businesses, with just the two of us being able to go pick businesses if we could.
Right. All right, I'll let you.
Okay, so the two businesses I was talking about that just got their certificate of occupancy, which means they are able to open. The cigar shop, they completed their permit and they will be at 110 Palo Pinto. And then we've got I'm not Polo's
Cafe.
I think it's supposed to be Pollo's, but maybe it is Polo's Cafe, which is at 1213 Fort Worth Highway. That is where the doghouse used to be, guys. It is open for business. They had their grand opening yesterday.
Wait,
they posted pictures.
Time out. The doghouse closed?
The doghouse closed like a month. It was such a quick turnaround from when they closed to when they started to build out for the cafe. I mean, it was a quick turnaround. But they did post about their opening yesterday, and I've already heard people raving about their food. So check them out on Facebook. Go check them out in person. Shop local, eat local, guys.
So that is a great example of I didn't even know the doghouse.
I thought, and it's only because I drive by it on the way to my parents' house sometimes.
Okay.
Or to one of the gyms I go to. So I mean,
all right. I gotta go
check it out.
I gotta go to is it Potos or Polos?
You know what? We'll have to check it out. But I'm thinking since it's a Tex-Mex or Mexican food.
Okay, we'll have to go try it out.
We'll go try it out and we'll find out.
Although I'm on my keto diet, so I don't know if I can.
Oh, that's true. That's unfortunate.
All right, I don't know. Moving on.
Okay, so all of the applications for permits and some of the ongoing projects around town. So I thought I took it off there. That's my bad, guys. Beef Masters is now open. If you didn't already know that, I know a lot of people have checked it out. Go check them out. Blue Stripe Oil and Lube at 1515 South Main Street they had their permit application. It is approved, not issued. We're still waiting on a few things back from them. CC's Pizza is undergoing an interior model, and I'm realizing that it did not update this slide, guys. So I've got a couple more updates to share with you guys. But they actually are in the process of remodeling. So we will let you guys know as soon as we know that they are back open again. Shouldn't be too long. Grand Adventureland is still progressing. They are still progressing. That one's actually still accurate with inspections and moving forward that way. So as you can see, we issued those permits back in the first week in May. Hampton Inn and Suites, which is a new build at 864 East I-20, had their application. It was approved, but has not been issued. We are still waiting on a few things from them there. Honeybee Hams has their new location at 609 North Main Street. Still moving forward with inspections. And if you're wondering where that is where Outlaws 2 used to be on North Main. So they're just right down, almost basically next to Beef Masters. And then HTO, which we've gotten a lot of questions about on Facebook, at 1206 South Main Street. They're still progressing with inspections. I know they've changed a couple of construction companies there, but they are still progressing as far as we know. Then over at Martin Drive Medical Center at 1713 Martin Drive, permit was not approved. They're still needing some revisions, so we're waiting to hear back from them on that. McDonald's is in the process of their interior remodel. I feel like that one was updated, so I don't know what's going on with our system here, guys, but I do know that is supposedly moving forward at some point. Pasta Fina was remodeled and has been open for about 4 weeks now. And then Chef's Scoreboard, as most of you know, opened the week of Thanksgiving. So go check out all of those restaurants. Then Specs Liquor Store is still actually in the review process. If and when approved, it will be at 106 Cleburne Avenue. Texas Roadhouse did apply for a permit at 201 West I-20 on December 3rd of last year, and it is in the review process. And then the Walmart Deli remodel permit, it was issued on December 4th. We still do not know what is going into Taco Cabana I-20 and Main Street. We don't know what's going in there, so that's kind of what Blake was talking about, where it's a free market, so that is a privately owned business. So we won't really know what's going on there or at Applebee's until they apply for a change of occupancy or a certificate of occupancy. I do know that I did talk to someone who was working with Applebee's, and I know that they were going in and cleaning it out and trying to remodel it in hopes of selling it at some point. But we'll keep you guys updated as we know more. That's pretty much all we know right now.
And a lot of those buildings, we say Taco Cabana and Applebee's just to give you all an easy reference, since most of you all know like the businesses that are in town or once were in town, but really those are just buildings now.
Yeah.
Those are privately owned, like Nicole mentioned. So once they find a new occupant, that's when they'll apply for that certificate of occupancy or change of occupancy. We'll have a better idea, but nothing at this time. One thing I was going to mention, Nicole, you mentioned Texas Roadhouse.
Mm-hmm.
So is it just me, or like, is it not fun to eat the peanuts and just throw the shell on the floor? Because
I legitimately will pile them up, and the waitress will come sweep them on the floor.
Oh, she pushes them.
I've had it happen at
you won't push them
most
off?
of the places. No,
It's
I'm
the
like a
fun
clean
of it.
person. No.
Oh wow, I'm
too clean of a person, so I pile them up and they always get knocked off. It doesn't matter what restaurant, because there's a few restaurants out there that do that where you just throw the peanut shells on the floor.
Yeah.
I don't do that, but they definitely clean them up.
Wow.
Did Pet
Let's
Supply?
give you a crown now. Let me tell you.
Wow. You guys hear the stats in 2020?
Yeah.
Be prepared.
Man. Are you ready for the next
Tamara
slide?
asked a question.
Oh,
Did
Tamara?
Pet Supplies Plus close?
I went by the other day and they were open.
They
so-
were open I thought it was this last weekend, maybe it was the weekend before that when I went by.
No.
You know what? Not that I know of, but
Still
we
open
can
the
ask
other
around.
day. Tara Jones says she saw it open the other day. So no, I think it's still open because I literally drove by. It was late last week and they were open.
I
So
think there
no,
were people in on Saturday when I went by.
I don't think so. Justin said I was at Home Depot. So Justin, you were there at Home Depot on Sunday and there were people there. Yeah, so it's still open. Awesome. Okay.
So some of our other, so I shorten it to DNS, but Development and Neighborhood Services projects going on. We are still working on the corridor cleanup. So that is along North and South Main and Palo Pinto Street, as well as Fort Worth Highway. So the main thoroughfares going through town. It's kind of focusing mainly on like the rubbish and garbage, unlawful accumulation, high weeds and grass, outside storage, flag and banner signs, illegal temporary signs, parking on unimproved surfaces. Basically, all of these studies have shown that people have done throughout the country for many years that when people take pride in and clean up their town, that it does foster that strong community that we are all trying to work towards. So it's kind of taking pride in your community type of thing. And we want to see Weatherford progress. And so when businesses come and look at where they want to go in town, or if they want to come to Weatherford at all, we want them to see how beautiful and how great of a community Weatherford is. So we are working on that. It did start in 2019 and it has expanded into 2020. So we're really excited to see that. We've gotten a lot of positive feedback from businesses that have maybe learned about some of the ordinances that they didn't know existed. So side note, if you're wanting to know if there's an ordinance on something, you can always head to our website or our mobile phone app. And you can see all of our ordinances and our charter and all of our information right there on our website. And it's super easy to search. Otherwise, you can always call Development Neighborhood Services and ask them, hey, is there an ordinance on this or where can I find this? And they are great at helping.
Yep.
I know as a resident, I called because I had a question on a specific thing and I was able to get my answer right then and there as a resident. I called on a day off.
Yeah. And that's because Nicole's a new homeowner, first time homeowner. Yeah, so it's exciting. It's a good start to 2020 for you, Nicole.
It was a good start to 2020, already being in and set up.
Yeah, it's awesome. Really excited for her. All right. It's your turn.
Rumor control. No Apple Store this time. That is one that the first time I heard it, I was like, there's no way that's an actual rumor. But I've been asked about it multiple times at the gym and at the grocery store. So as far as Development and Neighborhood Services knows, and as far as Economic Development knows, No word at this time, but if you guys want to have an Apple store here in town, reach out to Apple.
I think that would be successful.
I think it would.
Store.
The number of people I know in town that have iPhones that have to go into Fort Worth anytime something goes wrong, or Apple computers, I think it would definitely benefit them to be out here.
Yeah, I dread having to go to the Apple store, which is rare, but when I do, it's like 6 hours to get help.
Yeah, and if you don't make an appointment, forget it.
Yeah, I know. All right, we digress. Current non-residential projects. So what you're about to see is the current non-residential projects, which would be commercial projects happening across the city. And when I show it, it's kind of like, whoa, there's a lot going on. So we drive around and we're like, it's kind of the same old. But really, when you look at this chart, that's all of the commercial businesses, construction or improvements or changes that are taking place across the city of Weatherford. And so it's quite impressive when you look at that, and almost overwhelming. Same for our current residential projects, so homes, lots of activity going on. So you can see the correlation of this map, residential projects in conjunction with commercial projects. So they work hand in hand. People move here, businesses move here. It's a natural occurring thing. And so it's going to keep occurring. I know the projections are showing increased population growth. I got the latest statistics from the state before the holidays, and it really was like kind of shocked me how much growth is about to occur as we move forward. I mean, there's growth, as you all know, happening right now, but there's more to come. And Texas is like the largest growing states in the nation, and so the data was really interesting when I looked at that. Well, that's all we have for today, folks. I want to welcome, I believe, Jackie. Welcome to the show. Who else do we have?
You did current residential, but you didn't do non-residential?
Oh, non-residential is right here. Our commercial projects, non-residential. Yeah.
Okay.
So welcome, Jackie, to the show. We hope you can tune in each Tuesday at 11 a.m. Next week, we'll talk about department updates.
And we've got some pretty big department updates to share with you guys. I mean, like I said, check out our annual report, but I know that I've already talked to a couple departments this week on some of the stuff coming up. So I'm pretty excited about that.
Yeah, so it'll be a great show next week, and we always try to make it interesting and fun. And the whole beauty of this is to just have a casual conversation about what's happening in Weatherford. We don't always know the answer, and when we don't, we try to find out for you all. But as always, it's good to see you all in the year 2020. I think it's going to be a great year. I'm excited. And it's going to be fun. Yeah. So we'll see y'all next week.